Now, this is JB Muturi, a man who William Ruto is calling incompetent, a man who served in the judiciary as a judge of High Court of Kenya for 15 years. He later became the National Assembly Speaker for 10 years under the Jubilee government. Now compare him with this thief, William Ruto, who after graduating from Nairobi University, where he was doing a degree of botany and all those rubbish, he became a member of parliament from his village. And later he has been stealing throughout his life in government. Now, from a fair point of judgment, between William Ruto and JB Muturi, who is incompetent? I want you to see what I was saying during one of my shows in Barada Show that we normally do with Kina Chimamoto, when I was telling Kenyans how William Ruto is pushing so hard to make sure, despite the resistance, despite Kenyans saying we don't want this program, but he still continued to push until he succeeded to put even a new tax of 1.5%, claiming to be the for house levy and helping him to build the affordable housing. I was telling Kenyans, whenever you see William Ruto pushing so hard a certain program, in one way or the other, as he must be benefiting out of it, or he must be somehow making a lot of money out of it. And I thank God, because those who did not agree with me at that time, now we have the information from the horse's mouth. I'm saying from the horse's mouth because the guy speaking here was a cabinet minister, and he was there when all these programs were designed by William Ruto. Let's listen to JB Muturi and hear from him how he's putting it when it comes to William Ruto pushing some programs when he's benefiting directly from them. Let's hear.
I land in Dubai, Ruto is calling me. Those people, those Russians, want to, they are there, they're in Dubai, they're waiting, you're sending. I said, I'm just at the airport and I'm on transit. I am not leaving the airport.
Right.
He said, no, but they are there. Your people, your staff have already worked on the document. I said, no, I will need to go and review it in office.
This document being the deal?
The deal. They were purporting to give a grant of $1 billion to grow allegedly 3 billion trees to answer 15 billion. William Ruto, whenever he comes up with a program, it's for money making. For him, it's for money making. Now, I come and tell them, they bring me an MOU. I tell them, and I remember I spoke about the MOUs.
Yes.
I told them, it came from the Minister of Environment, which they pushed through. I tell them this thing, the $1 billion can only be by way of a grant, but it cannot come directly to the ministry because under the PFM Act, Section 47, it can only go through the National Treasury. They are trying to avoid that money going to the National Treasury, and it's money coming from abroad.
Right.
I mean,
you're being asked to sign in an airport.
I'm being told to sign at Dubai airport, and there's William Ruto calling me directly. I'm telling you. But anyway, maybe I could. Let me say this.
No, finish.
Let me say this. I think it's a very unfortunate situation for the country that we have William Ruto sitting in the office as president of Kenya. And we have too many examples to give. And
you knew this before you have.
Yes, you have had it clear. He cannot push any agenda in the cabinet. He does not bother to push any program in the cabinet if he's not making money out of it. Now, it is self-evident. He's bagging billions of money out of SHA program. He's bagging billions of money out of affordable housing program. And by the way, despite the resistance from Kenyans about SHA program, people have refused it. It is not working. People are saying, no, take us back to the NHIF. It was better. It was working. It was helping us. But the man is still holding on tightly saying, no, SHA is the way to go. Why? Out of it, the man is bagging billions of money. And you have heard JB Muturi saying how 1.104 billion was bagged by William Ruto. Now, I want you to now see another version of William Ruto, a dictator version of William Ruto. I want to, can you listen to JB Muturi now explaining the dictatorship version of William Ruto, the Moi in William Ruto. Let's hear.
It begins with you slowly, and then he begins to appear like, first of all, I think I want to say William Ruto is a true example of Daniel Moi. And William Ruto is no wonder, actually, he campaigned against the current constitution, because I think he really enjoys, he relishes a situation where we could go to that imperial presidency.
Right. He said he has a disdain for institutions.
He has disdain for institutions, and that's why he wants to push everything, even in cabinet. Once, if you want to know something where he has an interest, a CS will make a presentation, and then William Ruto will take over. Say, this one is good. He begins now to explain, making sure that there is no dissent, and he starts telling you, the moment I arrive before you and what, then, he begins that slowly he's instilling fear. Today, I don't know that's the situation. He makes it impossible for you to have a meaningful discussion. In fact, people enjoy going for cabinet committee meetings, the ones chaired by the deputy president, both Rigathi and Kindiki, because there you are able to speak your mind about any issue that is presented. But before William Ruto, you just have to know he has expressed his position, and he's looking at you. He's making suggestions. The look he gives you tells you on this one,
he has interest.
You have no option but to.
He's holding the cabinet hostage.
Ransom.
Yeah.
But then
it is hostage.
But you said you're a stickler for the law.
Yeah.
So he also held you hostage.
Fortunately,
that is William Ruto pushing the Attorney General to sign documents, to do approvals, and procedurally, contrary to the Constitution, pushing JB Muturi to sign some papers while the guy is actually traveling. He's just being called by a phone call. Hey, JB, we want you to do this and this. He's pushing very fast, even without the IG verifying, seeing what he's signing, understanding the deals. And this thing, by the way, was explained by Rick G sometimes back during the impeachment. And he said, one of the things why William Ruto men are so annoyed with him, he said it was because William Ruto would go, sit down with some investors and some characters, and designed a program and bring it to Rigathi Gachagua, who was not in that meeting, who does not even understand what was discussed, who does not even understand what is the program all about. But they brought to him and tell him, hey, you are the deputy president. Now we want you to go to this TV station, and can you explain to Kenyans about this new program we want to introduce? Can you convince Kenyans and tell them about the benefit of this program if as government will enroll it? This was one of the things that Rigathi Gachagua pointed out during his impeachment, because he declined it. He denied. He said, no, I cannot go to Kenyans to explain to them something that I don't know, something I don't understand, something that I was not even involved. It is because William Ruto alikuwa nataka kuwa kifix Rigathi Gachagua. Yeye anapanga ukora huko na wakora wake wenzake investors. Analetea Rigathi Gachagua enda kwa TV elezea wa Kenya. So that when it backfires, Rigathi ndiye atachapwa, because one, ndiye alileta kwa wananchi, two, ndiye ameipigia debe, three, ndiye ameonekana ni kama ndiye amekuwa kipush. But behind the curtains, there is William Ruto, the chief rooter, stealing everything and making money and benefiting at the expense of other government officials. Now, I want us to proceed and see how William Ruto has stolen 38 billion. And by the way, this money was stolen out of this Arol and Kimorel dams. And if you remember very well, during Uhuru's tenure, there was also this mega scandal of Arol and Kimorel Dam. And by the way, this particular scandal made the then Minister for Finance, Bwana Henry Kiprotich, he was fired by the government of Uhuru Kenyatta. And actually, by the way, he was pushed. He was actually arraigned in court. Yeah, he was arraigned in court. He was charged because of this Arol and Kimwarel Dam scandal, where I think, I don't know whether it was 5 or 10 billion was lost. Public resources, taxpayers' money. Now again, when William Ruto became the president, he revived the program. He revived the Arol and Kimwarel Dam, and he said now they will be done under his management. Here from JB Muturi is explaining how out of the project, the same project, close to that 8 billion has been stolen by William Ruto. Let's hear.
The advisory opinions of the Attorney General are never the subject of discussion at cabinet, because usually it is line ministries who will seek advice. Where even when they are preparing cabinet papers, the final person signatory is always the Attorney General. So they will come and complain that this paper is not ready. It's at the Attorney General, and I say, yeah, we are reviewing it because we don't want to approve things which could turn out costly, legally costly to the country.
I mean, in the sense that he could call you at an airport, tell you, these guys are here, you need to sign XYZ. That's...
Fortunately, he could call that, did I sign?
You could call, but he couldn't make you.
No, not me. Did I sign the Adani thing?
Do you think that's why
I refused to sign the very explosive. The Auditor General is going to come up with a report on Arol, Kimwarel, and Itare dams, because it's only Itare dam where those Italian contractors are done 26%. Arol, they contract those Italians, and they were paying billions. They only put in a container. In Kimwarel, nothing has ever happened, because even the report that came, it has a faults underneath. You can't do it. We can't do the dam there. So remember, he has been doing those things, meetings with the Italian Prime Minister, the President. On 3 occasions, I was invited to accompany the team, but I had read the files, and I just felt, no, it's not possible. And then Head of Public Service writes to me a letter that the delegation which is going to go there is going to be led by Adil Kawanja, which is one of those very close friends of the president, the chairman of Safaricom Limited, and then the then DPP, Nurdin Haji, and the former Solicitor General. I assigned some other state councils. I said, what is this? But the country is losing, or has lost actually, over 38 billion shillings. And they still, later they wanted me to sign. I said, I can't. I cannot append my signature, not on this.
Can you substantiate all of these allegations that you're making?
Fortunately, I have them on record.
You have paper trail.
I have paper trail. You know, I knew what I was doing. Contrary to what William Ruto may have thought, I am not the kind of person I keep records, and I have all of them. In fact, on soft.
Okay. As Gabi...
Now, I will say exactly like JB, it's so much unfortunate that today we have William Ruto sitting in the office of the President of the Republic of Kenya. That is how the man has been described. That is the William Ruto for you, the dictator man, the King Chief Ruto, stealing everything at his disposal, pushing everything to make sure he gains personally. He doesn't care about the lives of Kenyans. He doesn't care whether you die or what happens to Kenyans. He doesn't care. He doesn't even mind. Millions of youths are unemployed. That is none of his business. All what he wants when he wakes up, it is to make sure every day he makes some new coins from the government and from the public resources. All what he cares, it is to make sure whenever he wakes up in the morning, he signs a new deal that will earn him a lot of money through corruption. It's so unfortunate. Now, this is JB Muturi, a man who William Ruto is calling incompetent. A man who served in the judiciary as a judge of High Court of Kenya for 15 years. He later became the National Assembly Speaker for 10 years under the Jubilee government. Now compare him with this thief, William Ruto, who after graduating from Nairobi University, where he was doing a degree of botany and all those rubbish, he became a member of parliament from his village. And later he has been stealing throughout his life in government. Now, from a fair point of judgment, between William Ruto and JB Muturi, who is incompetent, my guess is good as yours. Thank you.